Hello, Blackpool.
Hello.
Where elderly Mancunians go to die. Speaking of old women who won't be around much longer, we've got the Jubilee coming up. The Queen celebrating 70 years on the throne. Coincidentally, 70 years is also the combined age of every girl that Prince Andrew has ever had sex with. 16, 32, 40, yeah, that's about right. But I don't know about any of you in here tonight, but I'm actually prepared to give Andrew the benefit of the doubt for the time being. Because if you cast your minds back to when you were at primary school, there'd be loads of little girls in any given classroom who'd say that it was their dream to be romanced by a handsome prince. And I suppose it's possible that Andrew simply didn't realise that when little girls say that, they specifically mean when they grow up. I don't know if you can tell from that joke, but I'm not really a fan of the Royals and not really looking forward to the Jubilee. And it kind of annoys me when you tell people that, and their counter-argument is always, oh, but think of all the money they bring in from tourism. I mean, A, do they really? How much of that do you see in your bank account? And B, do you imagine that prior to the French Revolution, the following conversation ever took place anywhere in France? Jean-Pierre, this is très malheureusement. The king and his madame, they rule so callously and cruelly, while we starve and struggle, and they live in such luxury. We must storm the Bastille, overthrow them, and remove their debts. Vive la France! No, Emmanuel. If we do this, and think of the incredibly adverse effects on the tourism industry. Without King Louis XVI and his Madame Marie Antoinette, how will we ever sell crappy tea towels and commemorative coffee mugs to American visitors? Yeah, I'm branching into character comedy, and those are the first two. Jean-Pierre and Emmanuel, the French peasants who for some reason speak in broken English in a borderline racist accent. Oh, and the new one this year, when you tell people you're not a fan of the Royals, is, oh, but think of the long bank holiday we're getting, coming up in fact. And it's like, I'm a stand-up comedian. What the fucking hell even is a bank holiday? Do you know what I do with my bank holidays? I'm the poor sod who gets drafted in to keep you idle cunts entertained for a few minutes. It's brought out some of the worst people on Twitter as well. I don't know if any of you are on Twitter. I'm talking about, you know, the really Brexity nationalist ones, you know, back Boris and all the rest of it. I came across one a few days ago actually. You know the sort of thing. About 16 Union Jacks in his name, banging on about Britishness, despite apparently not being able to spell a single word of English correctly. 7 followers, even fewer teeth, you get the idea. And I had a quick look on his bio, and in it he's proudly boasting that he used to be Amy Winehouse's bodyguard. Yeah, you fucking nailed that job, didn't you, pal? What was your next gig? Robin Williams' psychotherapist. It doesn't get any better than that. We had, in sporting news, we had the Monaco Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton this season absolutely nowhere. Lewis Hamilton, a man who decided at a young age that he wanted to drive a Formula 1 car for a living, and later turned vegan in an effort to combat climate change. The environmental equivalent of giving your son a rape alarm after you've already sent him off to a Catholic boarding school. So yeah, my name's Nathan Virica, and as you can probably tell from the way I'm dressed, I'm a failed musician. I don't know if any of you, because it's quite a young crowd, I don't know if any of you have dreams of your own. I mean, I've looked around a bit more closely, probably not. But on the off chance you do, make sure, for God's sake, that you make it and make it big, otherwise this is your future. But when I was like 20, 21, I had massive dreams of like music superstardom. But in the end, the closest I have got to emulating the likes of Bono or Gary Barlow was when I was late paying my council tax once. That's a very clever joke, and it deserved more. Oh, this might be more your level. The Masked Singer mercifully came to an end a few weeks ago. Don't know if any of you watched it, if we've got any fans in. One. Oh, you are not going to like this bit, lady. I mean, I sort of had to watch little bits of it because, you know, I've got to need material, that sort of thing. But whenever I've seen clips of it, it's always been Joel Dommett shilling it with the same line. He goes, "The greatest kept secret in television history." Yeah, I think Jimmy Savile's victims were probably beg to differ on that one. Jimmy Savile, man. One of the worst things ever to come out of Leeds. Arguably second only to the Kaiser Chiefs. We had the Brit Awards a few months ago. I don't know about you, but my favourite memory from the Brit Awards in recent years was a time a few years ago when Madonna fell flat on her arse. And I found that pretty hilarious. And I'll say that as a fan and connoisseur of watching videos of old women falling down flights of stairs. But she tripped over that massive cloak she was wearing during a performance, if I remember correctly, and I still to this day don't think she should have worn that to perform. I think she should have stuck to using that cloak for its original purpose, concealing the children she's stolen from Africa so she can smuggle them through airport customs. That was topical once upon a time. But the biggest story, certainly in my life as of late, is I've found out that scented toilet paper is a thing. And this is what happens when your mum decides she's going to come and stay with you for a while. Things like this just turn up unsolicited in your house, and you sort of have to make the best of it. But to cut a long story short, I may be single, I may be the wrong side of 30, and I may be skin. But at least I now have a lovely lemony bellend that I can be proud of. Okay, I'm going to finish with my two sickest jokes. So brace yourselves if the earlier bit was too much for you. I got a leaflet through the door the other day from my local takeaway. I've not tried it yet, but I've heard some good things. It's called Al Capone's Pizza. And it got me wondering, how come it's okay to name a business like that after some infamous criminals, but not others? Darling, do you fancy Ian Brady's fish and chips tonight? Yeah, I know, but we had Levi Belfield's burgers last weekend, don't you remember? Fine, Peter Tobin's Tandoorias. Got me thinking, actually, I used to live in Essex for 10 years, and the local chippy around there was called Churchill's. So it stands to reason that there's an equivalent bratwurst and potato takeaway somewhere in Munich called Hitler's. I actually did a bit of research into that joke after I wrote it, and it turns out there is actually such a place in Poland, but apparently their oven's been on the blink since 1945. You see, Blackpool, you don't need Netflix to hear career-ending gags about one of the worst things that's ever happened. It doesn't get any worse than that. Actually, no, I've got time left. Yes, it does. I'll finish with this one, but I think this one raises quite an important point overall. So it's sort of about charity and philanthropy, you know, all important things. A friend of mine came over for dinner the other day, and you know, we were sat in front of the telly eating our dinner when one of those charity appeal adverts came on, and you know, it's the usual horrendous sort of thing, starving kids with no clothes on, flies buzzing around their faces, drinking dirty water, that sort of thing. And my friend turns to me and goes, "Do you know, I really hate how they keep showing these adverts when people are having their tea." And I kind of thought about this for a second, and I thought, do you know, they probably do that deliberately, don't they? 'Cause it makes a lot of sense, you know, the contrast, you know, look at how much you're suffering and how much they're suffering rather, and look at what you've got. And I, for one, am really glad but they choose to show these adverts when people are having their tea. Because it's far easier for me to hide my erection when I've got a dinner tray perched on my lap. Sweet dreams, Blackpool. Thank you, Virica.